A billboard in central Tehran is sending a blunt message. In Palestine Square, a massive placard threatens Israel, declaring it a clear target and branding it America's 51st state. The imagery is stark: burning buildings and the words "Welcome to Hell" splashed across a reworked sign. The display comes as U.S. President Donald Trump weighs possible strikes on Iran and builds up naval forces in the region. With nuclear talks looming in Geneva, rhetoric on all sides is intensifying. Diplomacy is still on the table, but so are open threats. In Tehran's Palestine Square, a new billboard has captured global attention. The placard labels Israel as a clear target and refers to it as the 51st state of the United States of America. The imagery is dramatic: burning buildings in the background and a sign reading "Welcome to Israel," altered to say "Welcome to Hell." Such billboards are not new to the square, but this one arrives at a particularly tense moment. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance urged Iran to take Washington's threats of military action seriously. Speaking to Fox News, Vance said President Donald Trump would seek a diplomatic solution, but emphasized that the president retains the right to use military force. "You can't let the craziest and worst regime in the world have nuclear weapons," Vance said, reinforcing Washington's red line. President Trump has signaled a preference for diplomacy, but has simultaneously expanded U.S. naval deployments in the region, described as the largest buildup in decades. He has argued that Iran has not said the magic words necessary to finalize a deal, despite repeated statements from Iranian officials. Trump has also made clear that he would not allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. Tehran has pushed back at what it calls pressure tactics. Iranian officials say negotiations in Geneva could still produce an agreement through what they describe as honorable diplomacy.
Every possible option is on the table, both dignified diplomacy and a defense that will make any aggressor regret their actions. If you choose to engage in diplomatic discussions, pause at a table where the honor of the Iranian people and our shared mutual interests are fully respected, pause, then we too will be present at that very table. Just as we are right now, tomorrow, we will also be holding the third round of negotiations. This has been the situation in the past as well, and this process will continue to be carried out in the future. And if your decision was to repeat the past with deceit, with lies, with false analysis, with false information, and in the middle of negotiations to the diplomatic table that Iran, if you continue to pursue these conditions there and dare to carry out bombings, then without a shadow of a doubt you will experience the powerful and resolute punch of the Iranian nation and our formidable defense forces, just as you have in the past. And for this choice, this decision you have made, you will most certainly and absolutely come to regret it.
The upcoming talks are seen as critical, a potential off-ramp from escalation or a flashpoint if diplomacy falters. The rhetoric is sharp, military deployments are visible, and symbolic messages like the billboard in Tehran amplify the atmosphere of confrontation.
And we're working very hard to end the 9th war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president, would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military, obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer. For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like, 32,000 protesters. 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again, and are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.